You know, it's just in the nature of a lot of men to hate what I'm about to talk to you guys on this video. A lot of people overlook this, a lot of people sleep on this concept, and that's why down the line, so many men run into problems. But I'm so glad y'all clicked on this video, because you guys will be thanking me 10 years down the line. In fact, I want you guys to pause this video and come back to me 10 years from now and tell me how much this helped you out. Clearly, I'm joking, but in today's video, man, we're gonna talk about why men should focus on their foundation and how a man in his 20s can build up his foundation, because you guys need to understand something about this. Your foundation is crucial. When you guys look at the schematic of a building, the schematic of a house, the schematic of a skyscraper, you need to always have a sturdy foundation, because when you build the base up, that allows everything else to be built on top of it. So when it comes to you as a man, your foundation is your core. It is your principles. It is the pillars that you built yourself, your personality, your lifestyle, the people who are around you on. And if you do not have a solid foundation, you will crumble. For those of you guys who watch me on TikTok, I made a video last week where I spoke about how a man is always the rock. He is the foundation. And a woman, she's gonna come to you for strength. Well, you yourself, you're gonna come and look at that foundation whenever you go through hard times, whenever you have a loved one die, whenever your girl may leave you or cheat on you, or you just feel like things are not the proper way that they need to go, and you're gonna end it. Very hard time. Let's say you get fired from your job, or you get laid off, or you just go through some economic turmoil. You are going to have to rely on this foundation, because this foundation is what's going to allow you to keep your head up high, to keep you to have the confidence that you believe in yourself and that you can get out of it, and to allow you to take the right steps to move out of that ditch and to build yourself back up stronger. Just like with a house, it may go through a hurricane, it may go through a tornado, it may go through, a fire, but regardless of what it goes through, if it has that foundation, it's always gonna stand tall. So that's why you as a man, especially when you're young, you need to build this up, because I guarantee you, you're gonna be relying on this throughout many moments within your life. And if it's faulty, you are gonna fold up just like the most majority of men out there. Some other reasons why you should focus on your foundation is you're not focused on external. When you look at every social media influencer, when you look at every YouTuber, when you look at every famous athlete and celebrity, what do they typically show off? Cars, the entertainment, the glamorous lifestyle. And in no way am I saying that those things are bad, but I'm just putting them in the proper context. Again, you never want to build your foundation on something that can be taken away or stripped from you, because the guy who's a millionaire and loses it tomorrow, that dude is in fetal position, bro. He is in fetal position. So the reason why you guys want to build your foundation off of internal things is because they can't be stripped away until your soul is taken from your body. And also, when you're focused on your foundation, you are focused on your long-term stability. A lot of you young dudes, you guys are always focused on the here and now. And there's nothing wrong with living in the moment. When it comes to dating women, you want to live in the moment. When it comes to enjoying a vacation or enjoying your friends and your family, you want to stay in the moment. But when it comes to things like building a career, finding a house that you want to have, a family, your finances, always look long term. Because one thing about a wise man, a wise business investor, he's always looking towards the long term. He's not focused on the things that are here today, gone tomorrow, and that things that are going to get blown with the wind. He's always focused on what he can get long term and what's going to pay him back 10, 20 years down the line. That's why I keep telling y'all to pause this video and come back 10 years later, because I'm ingraining in your mind the things that I'm teaching you. It's not just on some bullshit clickbait video that you click today and you forget about. This is going to marinate, it's going to stew, and you guys are going to feel this, and you're going to appreciate these things as you get older and as you start to really play the game of life. But essentially what this is doing is that it's giving you long-term joy, because the way that most men and just people in general have set up their life, they set it up for intervals of happiness, where you're happy for 2 weeks and then you're depressed for 1 week, and then you're okay for another week, and then you're longing for another week, then you're happy again. The reason why you set up your foundation for what it is you want to do and where you want to go in life is that you can always be in a state of joy, because you know that the things around you, even if things may change with different factors that may come, you can still stay in a state of joy that keeps you happy long term. So the next thing you need to know is that literally most guys, they overlook the foundation for a few reasons. The first reason is because they're focused on the external reward. Most of the people who are successful on YouTube and Instagram, you're not focused on their journey. You're not focused on the hours upon hours that they've worked on their craft, that they put out videos and they didn't get any type of return. Because typically things are always the hardest when you start and nobody is with you at the beginning. So a lot of guys, they overlook the foundational principles that most people do not want to do because they're focused on the end goal too much. That's why you guys need to focus on this, because it's going to all make sense later on in life. For example, let's say you're a dude and you're trying to build up your financial foundation. Stop trying to find a scheme that's going to get you rich overnight, because the foundational principles of money is you need to learn how to make money and how to keep money. You see the foundational aspects? If you try to put the carriage before the horse, you're going to lose everything, right? So if you're a guy in that position, you need to read books on how to maintain your money, how to stay out of debt, how to invest your money. Then once you get the get rich quick scheme or whatever the hell you've been doing, you've been reinvesting in your business, boom, now you have $100,000 and you're not trying to blow it on a trip to Cabo. You're putting away $20,000, you're reinvesting $20,000, you're building your business with $20,000, $10,000 goes to self-development and $30,000 goes to whatever the hell you want. You see why it's so important to build your foundation? And to tell you the truth, when it comes to you as a man, your foundation is always going to come from what's in between your ears, because the knowledge that you receive, the experiences that you have, the ups and downs, the trials and travails, the adversity that you built yourself through, those things are going to carry over no matter what situation. Not your friends, not your girl, not your family. Though you love them, they're not going to be the ones going through these different experiences and challenges that you want for your life, especially if you're trying to be a higher level dude, especially if you have the mindset to break free from the average existence that most men live. So that's why you need to focus on these things and not be overly concerned on the external and not be overly concerned on the end result. Another reason why guys overlook the foundation is because a lot of y'all are just fucking lazy. A lot of y'all are just lazy and you just want a damn shortcut. That's the nature of most people. Most people don't want to work for things, and that's why most people stay at the bottom, because there are no shortcuts in life. There is no free lunch. That is a quote that people say. There is no free lunch. Whatever you put into and whatever you're working towards, there's going to be some requirement for you to get it, whether it be on the front end or whether it be on the back end. So you can't be lazy. You can't rush the process, because the life that we live, it oftentimes has a way of exposing the people who try to rush to become something great compared to really putting that work in, putting in that elbow grease. And that takes me to the next part. A lot of guys are impatient. And me, myself, I used to be like this, especially in 2019 and even 2018 when I wanted to build up my sales career, when I wanted to build up my first YouTube channel. I was so obsessed with the views, the follows. And even right now, I'm still somewhat like that, because my channels, they haven't grown as quickly as I wanted them to, but I'm not as worked up and I'm not as obsessed about it, because I've already been in this position. I've done so many things and I've realized that typically the success that you want in life, it never comes overnight, and usually at the beginning it's always the hardest. So I don't over worry about it, because I have the foundation of experiences that I've used and that I've been battle tested with. I don't get impatient to see the fruits of my labor. You guys have to think like that. You have to be willing to put in that work and build this up. Shit, I'll tell you this. A lot of you guys are not going to see the true fruits of your labor probably till you get in your 30s. If you're a dude and you're 21, you're probably not going to see the full reward of those business courses, of those investment courses, of those personal development courses until you get into your 30s, because it takes time to manifest itself in your life. Not saying that's always the case, that's always the timeline, but I'm saying that's oftentimes when you're going to get a huge reward 5-10 years down the line, not 5 days or 10 days or even 5 months, 10 months. It takes time. And the last thing is just a lack of guidance, because as I said, most guys are looking at what they see online, what they hear from their peer group, their social groups, that they do not have people who are guiding them and telling them, hey, my guy, focus on the fundamentals. If you guys want to have a teacher, any type of teacher, make sure you have somebody who is teaching you the fundamentals, especially when it's something that you don't really understand. And even once you get a good grasp on it, a good teacher is still going to teach you the fundamentals while also mixing in some advanced things, because as a human being, we typically like to skip over the basic things and we get sloppy with it so we can focus on an eye-popping result. but always make sure you have a teacher that is showing you the fundamentals, because that's always going to be key. If you ever watch Steph Curry, LeBron James work out, what are they always practicing? Basic jump shots, basic free throws, and then they get into the step back shots, because that's how you warm yourself up in your life, just like how they warm themselves up for a game. So for those of you guys who want to build your foundation, here's what you do. Pace yourself. Make sure you guys set realistic goals that keep you consistent, but you also want them to push you. You don't want to get stuck in a comfort zone where you're just doing the bare minimum. You do want to constantly self-improve and constantly allow yourself to do more. That is just the nature of progress and self-improvement. But make sure you're pacing yourself and you're taking into account what you can and can't do, because bro, you are not a machine. You are not artificial intelligence. You will burn out. And that's one of the things you want to avoid, is burning out. Because if you're putting in steady money, steady energy, time, investment, resources, and you're trying to go balls to the wall to try to build something too quick, what typically happens is that you burn out. You don't want to be the guy, you don't want to be the investor who put in $30,000 and was going balls to the wall, and right before he reached the finish line, right before he went to get the diamonds, like for those of you guys who know that meme of the guy who's so close to getting the diamonds but he gives up, and then you have another dude who's just steadfast, determined, and he knows he's gonna get the diamonds. Don't burn out. Just like somebody who builds a house too quickly, they're gonna overdo, they're gonna miscue things, they're gonna forget things, and they're gonna destroy their foundation. You wanna make sure you have a steady pace. That way you build the foundation solidly. Also, make sure you guys stay focused once you start to grow, because typically the nature of humans, once we start feeling ourselves, we get to dusting our shoulders off, popping our collars, is that we tend to take our foot off the gas. Once you start to see some success, don't lay off. Don't take your foot off the gas. Keep staying steady, because you have to continue to build that foundation. That way it's so in the ground that nothing can uproot it. So that way all the seeds that you've sown at a young age, you can keep going back to that plan of hard work and keep pulling out of it. Like in regards to sales, there was so many times when I was a salesman 6-7 years ago where I literally wanted to quit. And when I started to make money, had I been like, oh bro, I'm making big money, man, let me get the nice car, let me move into this great luxurious apartment, I would have either took my foot off the gas, or I might not have continued to try to invest in my development as a man to have the skill that I have now. Because the more you practice something, the more you build something, the more it becomes ingrained in your psyche, to the point where it's second nature. Just like when what do they call it? Your 10,000 hours. When you want to master something, you have to put in an extreme amount of time, to the point where it's second nature and it sticks with you for life. A lot of you guys are at like that 3,000, that 4,000 hour mark. You're like, man, I'm starting to get it. And you're not as great as you think you are. Signs that you have a sturdy foundation. As a young dude, the first thing you're gonna notice is you're going to be emotionally stable. You're not gonna have as many ups and downs. To tell you the truth, that's usually something that women deal with. And even as women get older and they find somebody who can guide them, they're not gonna be on this roller coaster wave of up here, down there. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna have more consistent emotions. So you as a man, you're definitely gonna have more consistent emotions in your life. You're gonna be more temper-minded. You're not gonna be so volatile. A lot of young guys, they're very up and down. That's how I used to be. So when you have a solid foundation, you're not gonna be pulled with the wind whenever something bad happens, or brought back into the zeal, like, oh wow, I'm doing great. You're gonna just stay evenly keeled, and you're not gonna get too high nor too low. The second sign, you are steadily increasing your workload, because just like with a strong building, once you realize the foundation is sturdy, you start to add different parts, because your foundation can take more weight. So you as a young guy, you may have only been able to do your financial job, but as you started to build your foundation with knowledge, wisdom, time management, now you're able to work out more. Now you're able to handle your diet. And as you start to work on that, boom, your financial foundation has grown. Now what are you able to do? If you want, you're able to find you a woman who's able to, help you grow in as a person. You're able to enjoy things. As you continue to grow as a man, if you have a sturdy foundation, you'll notice that you're taking more of a workload on to not only help yourself and help others, but you're not overburdened, because you're more well-equipped. Just like Optimus Prime in the Transformers movies. As the movies progress, that boy is pulling out more strong weapons, or more powerful weapons, to be able to slay bigger and badder enemies. But it all started with him having that foundation. The sign, You are rooted in one thing and are waiting to see that grow. One thing that made me struggle and why I wasted a lot of time when I was younger is I did not want to stick with one thing. I was in college for one major and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Let me go and play basketball. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. So then I transitioned and I went back to school, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do at school. So I went to this job. I was like a monkey branching off into all these other trees, all these other avenues, until I sat down and I said, what am I good at? What can I make good money? And when I got into sales and I started to focus on sales long term, I noticed that I saw a dividend in what I was doing. You guys cannot lose focus on what you're doing. A sign that you have a steady foundation as a man is that you stay focused on one skill, one trade, or maybe not just one, but let's say two, one focus and one on the side, and you cultivate that until you get the fruits of what your hard work has done. And then once you get the steady sound foundation and you're consistent with it, then you move on to something else. And another sign, I'm gonna leave this because I don't want to make the video too long, is that you're noticing that all areas of your life are improving. Because with a house, right, if one aspect of the house is faulty, it starts to fall down and crumble, and then the other parts of the house start to fall down and crumble, right? So if you have a sturdy foundation as a man, you're gonna notice all your life areas, whether it be your financial, whether it be your physical, whether it be your emotional, whether it be your family, whether it be your health. All of those things are going to steady improve. Not saying you're not going to have setbacks, but you're going to notice that each area of your life is going to continue to improve and get better. That is a sign that you have a solid foundation. And also another sign of a solid foundation is you're able to adapt and thrive in different situations, because the life we live is cyclical. The life we live in can be unpredictable. But if you're a man who's adaptable and you've worked on yourself, especially at a young age, and you've matured into the person that you are meant to be, you're going to be able to adapt and thrive in any situation. Peace, chaos, order, confusion, it don't matter, because you're strong enough to weather any storm. So those are the things that can allow you guys to have a sturdy foundation, why it's important and why you should focus on it, and the pitfalls that many men go through. I hope you guys, really study these things, meditate on them, let them marinate in your mind so you can remember them and recall them. And like I said, man, make sure you bookmark or save this video and come back to it 10 years later. You are gonna thank me. So if you're new, make sure you like the video, comment down below your opinions and your thoughts, and hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next video, man. Peace.